YouTube started 20 years ago. There were three dudes, Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim. Now, if you've ever seen the first ever YouTube video, that is Jawed Karim that you see waving behind an animal at the San Diego Zoo. Only goes for 19 seconds, and that's how they started YouTube. It'd be kind of interesting because was Elon Musk part of the PayPal early on, or was he with some other kind of pay thing? I'm wondering because I assume all these nerds probably hang out or in some kind of club together, right?
Probably.
At some point, they've crossed paths with one another.
Yes, I would imagine so. Now, listen to this. Where YouTube was 20 years ago today, the platform they built is now worth $455 billion.
Wow.
$455 billion.
It has stayed strong.
Yeah, well, arguably, I would say that it's increased in value so much. Well, it's Google that owns it now, and they've got the whole value of it. But I mean, that's amazing. It just seems to me like YouTube is always growing, and the numbers are staggering on it as well. Not just what I was talking about, but you also have some pretty staggering numbers when you're looking at how much people are watching this thing. 2.7 billion monthly users is what they have.
Dang.
It's my favorite platform to get any kind of content. I just think it's so cool right now. Somebody, let's say in Alaska, is uploading some weird video that it's original, it's one of one.
It is neat to think about. Like, you can get global. You can figure out what everybody's doing everywhere else.
And there is just some weird stuff on YouTube, man, that other places just don't have.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what they've built and how it continues to grow. And I wonder, do those guys do anything all day, or do they just count their YouTube money?
Great question. Like, how hard is it to run?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're out of the game now. They built it, sold it, and now they're probably on a beach somewhere today.
Yeah, they probably own an island. They probably own the beach.
I mean, at that point, you kind of beat life.
I know. Yeah.
won.
You've won. Okay, so you know that we're going back 20 years for YouTube, but what about these things? Which came first, Spotify or Zoom? What do you think? Jaybird, you were going with Spotify.
I'd bet my face and Virginia's face on that.
All right, I'll say Zoom, just for argument's sake.
Bird's correct.
Wow.
Yeah, you got it. But Zoom is older than you would think. A lot of people are saying, yeah, Zoom didn't really come around till the pandemic, and that's what, 2020? Now, Zoom was sitting there for 9 years before that. It started in 2011, and I guess we were just like, yeah, it's kind of cool to have it, but why are we going to need it? It's not like we've got a pandemic going on.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, so then when we did, we're like, hey, you ever heard of this thing called Zoom?
Turns out Zoom started COVID.
Yeah, they probably did. Be like, yeah, we really need a pandemic. Can we get something going in Wuhan?
Because Zoom's kind of lame. They needed something to kick it
They
up.
really did. It really wasn't working until the
It
pandemic.
was a great business plan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Spotify started in 2008. And that's an interesting story, too. They've got a documentary of the guy that started that on Netflix that you can watch about how he wanted to get it on there for music. And now, they're trying to really spin things. It looks like Spotify is doing well now, but they're really starting to invest in talk talent over the music, realizing that, hey, if we actually own the product, we're going to have a lot better of a business model. Well, MySpace, that was pretty much one of our first social media platforms. What do you think came first, that or Blu-rays?
Oh, so easy.
What do you think, Bird?
Blu-rays.
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. It's saying here MySpace is older.
Really?
What?
It says Blu-ray started in 2006 and MySpace started in 2003.
Wow.
That don't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. Now, are they Blu-rays? Is that the big long discs?
Yeah, that was like movies back in the day.
Yeah, they're saying 2006, first Blu-ray.
June 20th, 2006. What happened that I don't remember that right? None of us do.
I don't know, man. That was we were younger. We were drinking a little bit more.
And two, I mean, it started, but were we all exposed to it?
I just thought I remember Blu-ray back in the '90s for some
I
reason.
thought so too.
Is this one of those Mandela effect things where everybody misremembers the same thing? Why do I remember having Blu-rays when I was like in high school?
Maybe there was something close like Blu-ray in
Was
the
it
'90s.
Laserdisc?
There was Laserdisc.
Is that throwing me off?
Maybe that's what is throwing us off.
Okay. All right. So yeah, MySpace predates Blu-rays by 3 years.
And Blu-rays, they're whack, right? No one's. Here comes Denny's finally.
Yeah.
So
the voice of technology.
Are we all misremembering this?
I think you're mixing it up with Laserdiscs being the older technology. Those were those giant discs.
Yeah,
But the
okay.
Blu-rays replaced DVDs. The only reason I know the year is because PlayStation 3 came out and they were really pushing it. It was Sony's product. So they didn't want to lose because they lost the Betamax way back in the day. So they put a ton of money into Blu-ray to make sure it was successful.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So instead of selling Blu-ray players, which were $400 at the time, they were selling a PlayStation 3 for the same exact price. Trying to encourage people to buy
Right,
the PlayStation
okay.
3 and then get Blu-ray discs.
Were Blu-rays good?
Blu-rays were awesome. They were great, but here's the weird thing. It came out at a time where they started coming out with digital content at the tail end of Blu-ray. Blu-ray was maybe out 2 years before digital, where people could just
okay.
download it, or then
Right.
streaming started getting big.
You were
Streaming
made
pretty much,
obsolete in 2 years.
yeah, streaming kind
Wow.
of like destroyed any sort of owning tangible discs. But now you're saying people are going back and buying records and stuff, so maybe discs will come. But all those DVDs I have, a majority of those are Blu-ray.
Can you imagine how disappointing that is if you are Mr. Blu-ray?
Yeah, you have this great idea.
I have this amazing idea. The industry bought it, and 2 years later, you're out of business.
Yeah, Sony, it sucks because they lost a couple format battles. Blu-ray was their first successful one because they put so much money into it, and then streaming kind of just destroyed it, so it couldn't have been good for them.
Is there a guy named Ray? And that's his nickname,
no,
Blu-ray?
it's owned by the Blue Man Group.
Yeah,
Oh, it
the
is,
competitor
okay.
was
I didn't know that.
At the time, there was two formats, HD DVD and Blu-ray, and they just buried the other one.
Yeah.
But they're the same thing. It was just high definition.
Probably the same disappointment that Mr. Betamax felt back in the day.
Same thing, same company.
I kind of feel like Betamax had a longer run.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, VHS beat it out.
It feels like Betamax was hot for a year. If you remember the 80s when they first came
It was
out
hot
with
for a
tapes.
year, but it got beaten out by VHS, and then
Real
Sony
quick.
failed again with mini disc. They came out with mini disc after, and that
Wow.
also bombed.
Oh
That's
my
why they put so much
gosh.
money into Blu-ray.
I'm just checking to see if these Blu-rays are worth anything. Waterworld Kevin Costner Blu-ray right now. You can buy it for $37.
It seems like too much.
That's
That
seems
seems
way
like
too
too
much.
much. Yeah,
Right?
I'd say a lot of them you could find for $10, and if you go to the
Right.
pawn shop, you could buy 10 of them for $1.
I bet, yeah. That's what it should be charging. Wow, how about that? Okay. Taking you back. All right, I'm learning something. Which came first, eBay or Amazon? Whoa, both have changed the
Oh,
game.
eBay or Amazon? I'm going to say eBay.
eBay came first. What do you think, Bird?
Absolutely eBay.
Absolutely eBay. You are both wrong.
Oh, damn it.
Only a year difference. Amazon started in 1994, eBay in 95. I think that one's trickier to remember because Amazon was all books until it feels like 10 years ago. And then all of a sudden it went gangbusters. Like, how did this concept that Bezos came up with, the switch from selling you books to selling you everything?
You're right. I forgot they were just a bookstore at one point.
Yeah, and they trudged along doing that for a while. And now look at them. I mean, it's crazy. They've changed the game. So, yeah, they started 94, eBay 95. What about DoorDash and Tinder? Which came first? Did we have DoorDash before Tinder or the other way around?
Tinder came first.
Okay. How you feel about
DoorDash. DoorDash came
Yeah, it's
first.
Tinder.
that? Bird's right again.
Okay.
By a year, Tinder started in 2012, but that's now been around 13 years. And DoorDash has been around 12.
I remember DoorDash didn't have that much shine behind it. Then all of a sudden it exploded. Them, Uber Eats. And it was
Yeah.
before the pandemic.
Okay. And what about this? TikTok or Bumble? I don't even know what Bumble is.
Bumble
Dating.
is dating.
Oh, it is.
Yes, Kevin.
Well, that's why I have no idea. I don't get that concept. Okay, so what came first? Did we get Bumble or did we get TikTok first?
Bumble.
Yeah, I
Bumble's
think it was
first.
Bumble.
You're going to go with the Bumble. Bumble is first. 2014 versus 2016. Does it feel right to you that TikTok is now 9 years old?
No.
For me, it feels like it's like 3.
Right.
Yes, it feels like 3 to 4 years old.
I think that's because we've only been using it for 3 years.
Yeah, we're old and late to the game.
Yeah, but it was around like 6 years before we even jumped on it.
What's this TikTok thing you kids are doing?
The same thing they're doing on Instagram.
Oh, what's Bumble?
It's all the same, Virginia.
Yeah, now we get all this valuable content thanks to it.
This is how we do. It's the KVJ Show.